Preview for week 3 of the college football season. My name's MGCovers. We did this last week. It was a YouTube short. We had 2 plays. One of them pushed. Can't remember the one. And then we gave you Missouri, which was a winner. They were an A team. Ended up blowing out their opponent. We're going to look at 2 A teams today and do a quick little teaching segment on line movement. So the first one we're going to look at is Clemson and Georgia Tech. Clemson is away. We have them as an A team via the model. Georgia Tech is at home as a B team. This is what I call part of my classes model. And for college football, we interpret this as far as our line would go. Clemson should be somewhere between -7 to -10. So we're getting some value with Clemson here. Let's take a look at the line movement. You can see here this line opened at 6 for a majority of books, and now it's all the way down to -3. And anytime I learned this from my mentor, Bob McCune, if you're going to go against the market per se, go against the line movement, you need to know why the line is moving. My opinion, Georgia Tech's off to a 2-0 start. LSU's 1-1 is trivial and elementary as it seems. I think the majority of public looks at it this way. Clemson's 1-1, Georgia Tech's 2-0. Georgia Tech is at home. However, that being said, I still believe Clemson is the better team, and we're getting a ton of value on them, and I think that's the reason why you're seeing this line movement fluctuating back and forth. And you can even take a look at bookmakers' line movement here. A lot of movement here this morning. If you look over here, it is, -3. It went down briefly to -2.5. I'm thinking sharps probably hit it at 2.5. It bumped up to -3. And the same thing happened over here at Pinnacle. Pinnacle and Bookmaker are 2 very sharp books. All right, you can see it's currently at 2.5. There's no way this line stays at 2.5, Clemson. That is a tremendous amount of value at Clemson at 2.5. And you could already see the same thing happened this morning. It went down to 2.5, went quickly back up to 3. This will not close at 2.5. So you can play Clemson right now at 2.5. I'm guessing it will probably end up closing at 3 in my opinion. So again, I believe there's a ton of value there playing Clemson, albeit going against the line movement from opening. Now the second game we're going to look at is Vanderbilt and South Carolina. Not being a homer here, even though we did play South Carolina against Virginia Tech. What was that? Was that 2 weeks ago? Last week? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And they were A class and won. Very similar situation here. They're playing Vanderbilt. South Carolina's at home, and I think so. Same type deal. Line should be somewhere -7 to -10. South Carolina. Let's look at the line movement itself. This game goes off much later, around 7:30. Apologize for the scroll. And here we are. Very similar lines. Line opened at 6. Now it's all the way down to a 3. Again, Vanderbilt's 2-0, and I think the main reason, again, you want to, when you're wagering, essentially, you're not competing against a sports book. Sports book is like the bank per se. They're holding the money. All they do is move the lines according to what the market does. And I think you're competing against other people's opinion on this game. And I think the main reason you're seeing this line move, Vanderbilt manhandled Virginia Tech. South Carolina struggled against Virginia Tech a little bit. But again, I still think there's a tremendous amount of value in playing South Carolina. Let's take a look at the line movement itself. Bookmaker, this is steady at -3. Opened up at, okay, you can see right there, this was earlier in the week, 4.5, got all the way up to 5. Now it's come down to 3.5. Now it's at 3. I think this will probably close above 3. I think you'll probably see some 3.5 here as well. Last night it was at 3.5. It went down. That was Bookmaker. Let's take a look at Pinnacle. And you can see there, Pinnacle even opened it up a little bit sharper there at -5.5. Most people opened it up at -6. Pinnacle opened it up at -5.5. Line movement basically the same there, -4, -3.5. Last night dips down to -3 there. So again, home team wins 70% of the time. Very difficult to win on the road. You say, well, we're playing Clemson. Clemson's on the road. Yep, but Clemson is an A team. So I still believe there's a ton of value there. So 2 free plays for today are going to be South Carolina -3. If you can get Clemson at 2.5, still would be a play at -3. Good luck today, and talk to you guys soon. Peace.